Most people ask the wrong question about AI. They ask, which is better, Claude or ChatGPT? But for serious knowledge work, the better answer may be, use both. Not because one model is always better than the other, and not because you need to double the amount of AI in your life. The real advantage is that using two models can make you think more carefully, improve the quality of your work, and help you keep pace as these tools continue to evolve. Here are 3 reasons to consider. First, reviewing 2 AI responses will force your brain to engage. One of the biggest risks with AI is not that it always gives you bad answers. It is that it often gives you answers that sound good enough. The response is polished. It is organized. It sounds confident. And because our brains are naturally wired to conserve effort and take shortcuts, it becomes very easy to simply accept what the AI gives us. That is a real problem for students, professionals, and anyone doing serious knowledge work. But something changes when you ask both ChatGPT and Claude the same question. Now you have 2 responses in front of you. They may emphasize different facts. They may organize the problem differently. One may identify an issue the other completely missed. They may even reach different conclusions. And suddenly, you cannot remain passive. You have to compare them. Which explanation is clearer? Which assumptions are stronger? Where do they disagree? Did one model overlook an important fact? Which answer actually makes more sense? The act of comparing 2 responses immediately pulls your brain back into the process. You are no longer just receiving an answer. You are evaluating competing analyses. That distinction matters. The goal should not be to let AI replace your thinking. It should be to use AI to stimulate, challenge, and enhance your thinking. Using 2 models is one of the simplest ways to make that happen. Reason number 2. Going back and forth between 2 models can dramatically improve the output. The second benefit goes beyond comparing 2 initial answers. You can use ChatGPT and Claude in tandem, almost like 2 different editors or analysts working on the same project. Start a draft in one model, then do the type of work you should be doing to test, challenge, and improve the output. Then paste that updated draft into the other model to assess it. Ask it to identify weaknesses, missing arguments, unsupported assumptions, or ways to make the structure more persuasive. Then use the second model to improve the draft based on the output. Then, take the updated output and any feedback back to the first model to stress test the new draft and analysis. This back and forth process can be incredibly powerful. Each model becomes a critic of the other model's work. One generates, the other challenges. One expands, the other simplifies. One identifies a possible solution, the other looks for the weaknesses in that solution. I've seen how effective this can be in legal work. You might use one model to develop an argument or prepare a first draft. Then you can give that draft to the second model and ask it to respond like opposing counsel. What arguments would the other side make? What cases or facts need to be addressed? Where is the reasoning vulnerable? Then you can take that critique back to the first model and strengthen the final product. When a subject matter expert is guiding the process, this can lead to exceptional work. The expert knows which suggestions are insightful, which are irrelevant, and which are simply wrong. AI accelerates the analysis, but the expert still provides the final judgment layer. You know which critiques to incorporate and which you can ignore. When you are not a subject matter expert, the same process can still move a project much further along. You can create a better working draft, discover questions you did not know to ask, and gain a much stronger understanding of the subject. By using 2 models, you can dramatically improve the output. And reason number 3, using 2 models helps you keep up with a rapidly changing field. The third reason is practical. These AI models are constantly evolving. A model that seemed clearly ahead in one category a few months ago may be surpassed after the next major update. ChatGPT may be better for one type of research or brainstorming. Claude may be better for reviewing a long document or maintaining a particular writing style. Then a new version arrives, and the balance changes again. Trying to constantly monitor which model is considered state-of-the-art for every possible task can become a job in itself. Most people do not have the time or the interest to track every benchmark, update, leaderboard, and model comparison. But when you regularly use 2 leading models, you do not have to worry quite as much about choosing the single perfect one. You are naturally testing them against each other in your actual work. Over time, you will begin to notice patterns. You may prefer ChatGPT for brainstorming, research planning, or generating alternatives. You may prefer Claude for editing, document analysis, or working through long-form arguments. Your preferences may be completely different. That is the point. You do not need someone else's universal ranking. You need to understand which model performs best for the specific work that you do. And as the models change, your workflow changes with them. Using 2 models keeps you close to the cutting edge without requiring you to obsess over every new announcement. In the end, the goal is not more AI, it is better thinking. Using ChatGPT and Claude together does require more effort. But that additional effort is actually the benefit. So the next time you are doing important knowledge work, do not just ask whether ChatGPT or Claude is better. Ask the same question in both. Compare their answers. Let one criticize the other, and then use your own judgment to create something better than either model would have produced on its own. If you like this content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And please share your own AI use cases and tips in the comments.